episode of the Hashtag Kangaroos podcast. Here is your host, Dean Basic.
G'day everyone and welcome back to the Hashtag Kangaroos podcast. I'm Dean Vasic and you can find me on X at Hashtag Kangaroos, Instagram Hashtag Kangaroos podcast. Today we're breaking down North Melbourne's frustrating 16-point loss to Melbourne late yesterday afternoon. It was another game that leaves North supporters wondering what might have been. There were periods where the Roos looked capable of taking control, but once again they couldn't quite get the job done when it mattered most. As always, this podcast is just as much about your opinions as mine. So we'll also get your thoughts and reactions from social media, whether you're frustrated, encouraged, or somewhere in between. I want to hear what you made of the performance because there's no shortage of talking points from this one. So let's start with my thoughts on the game. And to be honest, I felt like we lost this one at selection. When the teams came out, I couldn't understand the balance. We went in with 4 tall forwards and realistically only one genuine small forward in Charlie Spogo after the Zach Bench injury. And with all due respect to Charlie, he's not exactly the type of player who strikes fear into opposition defenders with his forward pressure or ability to lock the ball inside 50. For all of North's dominance early, particularly in the first quarter with our field position in territory, we managed to get a decent lead, but at halftime it was whittled down to 4 points. That was the warning sign for all our dominance. We couldn't get enough scoreboard pressure. From the second quarter onwards, Melbourne gradually took control of the game. Apart from the last 5 minutes where we kicked a couple of late goals, I think it was 3, to make the scoreboard look a little more respectable, I thought the Demons were the better side. It was frustrating because I think the imbalance of the team got found out. Even Alistair Clarkson touched on it in his post-match press conference. He said North was able to get the ball inside 50, but once it got there, they couldn't keep it locked in. From 56 inside 50s, there were only 7 forward half stoppages. That tells you everything. The ball was coming straight back out. Then came the positional changes. So it was Cooper Harvey, who was having a very good first half with 20 touches, while Colby McKercher, after a really quiet first half, I think only 4 touches, was shifted to half-back. Now, I'm actually all for McKercher playing across half-back. I think this experiment of playing half-forward, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, it's got to stop. You got to get him back to where he plays his best football. But here's my issue. Talking about yesterday's game, we'll get to McKercher in a second. Harvey was having a very good first half. He'd had 20 touches, 350-something metres gained, providing drive and creativity from defence. He was one of our biggest strengths in that first half. Meanwhile, McKercher wasn't getting into the game, playing that positionless high half-forward role. So what was the solution? Instead of asking McKercher to work harder and find the football himself, we took one of our strengths away by moving Harvey. For me, you should never replace a strength to cover a weakness. If McKercher wasn't getting enough of the footy, it was up to him to find a way into the contest. It shouldn't have meant disrupting a player who's already having a major influence on the game. There it is. The balance just wasn't right. I think it was pre-game. When you look at the lines, they all go into the separate sections and do their own drills. The back line had 9 players there. The forwards had 6. The midfielders had 4, I think it must have been 8. I didn't really look at it. I've never seen a pre-game warm-up where there was 9 defenders and 6 forwards. Usually it's balanced out. It might be 7, 8 or whatever it is. But this was, this just shows of how imbalanced the team was. You had Goder and Hardiman rotating through the wing because we'd also selected too many mid-sized defenders, like I just pointed out, 9 of them. It all added up to a side that, in my opinion, and most people that were at the ground, you would have to say 90% of North supporters, because you are all very smart North supporters. And I spoke to a few people during the course of the game. I caught up with a few people, and even they said, this isn't just wasn't balanced. The team wasn't balanced. Now, maybe I'm having a bit of a rant, but selection has been one of the more puzzling aspects of North Melbourne's season. I understand trying different things with the young list, but at some point you've got to pick a side that complements itself. Put McKercher back to half back. Not when the game, not when he's struggling to find a ball. All right, he's struggling. Let's get him some ball. Why? Well, that doesn't make any sense. You should have done this 6 weeks ago. Get rid of Zerha from the back line. That's not his best position. Play Riley Hardeman. Play Josh Goater as your third tall. Play Luke McDonald as your third tall if you're going to pick him. And I'll probably get to him soon. But that's, I just don't think, and it's smart. It's not smart. And it also, unfortunately, I think it cost us. The selection cost us yesterday. Now, I also want to give Melbourne some credit because I really like the way they play. Their system is excellent. They're simply a better team than North Melbourne when it comes to the one percenters. The little things that don't always show up on a stat sheet. How many smothers did Melbourne lay compared to North? I think it must have been 10 zip, I think. I can't remember a North Melbourne player smothering a ball. Whereas I counted, you'd have to need 3 hands to count how many times they did it. How many times did they get a hand into spoil? Kill a contest or force the stoppage? They do those things consistently. They did it better than us, and they've done it better than us all year. That's why they are where they're at. That's where we are. They stand the mark. They put their hands up on the mark. We just run back, jog back. They defend space. They stick to their system. Everyone knows their role, and everyone buys in. Of course, it helps when you've got Max Gawn giving you midfield first use stoppages most times, and Cozzy's picket speed and line breaking ability can turn a game on in an instant. But it's just not their stars. Van Rooyen didn't dominate. Instead, it was Matthew Jefferson who bobbed up with and kicked 4 goals. Kay Chandler chipped in with a couple. Jack Bauer gave them a terrific drive, composure of half back. That's that's what good teams do. They've got contributors from all 22 players. Everyone has a role. Everyone executes it, and they play with discipline. When I look at North, I still think we rely too much on talent rather than system. In the first quarter alone, Luke Davis, Uniacke and Harry Sheasel had 18 disposals between them and were instrumental around stoppage. They were getting us going through the clearance, and it's become our biggest weapon. But it also raises a question. If we don't win the clearance battle, what else do we have? Can we beat teams with our ball movement? Can we beat them with our defensive system? Can we lock the ball inside 50 through pressure and repeat entries? Well, I'm not convinced. Are you? I don't think you guys are. I know you're very smart supporters. But that's where the game is at. And, how you defend the ground. Can you lock the ball? Can you get repeat entries inside 450? Can you transition the ball from defensive 50 to forward 50? Having Cameron Zerha back there, it's too one-dimensional. It's too slow. And it's taken away game time from Riley Hardeman and Josh Goater. They couldn't get a game. For a long, Riley Hardeman was struggled to get a game in and out of the team all year. When he gets an injury, or there's or something happens, whatever happens, he's out of the team and he struggles to get his way back into the team. And he's the best 23 player without doubt. And that's the next step for the football club. The talent is there. The challenge now is building a system that's good enough to stand up, regardless of whether you're winning the clearances or not. So, that's me going on a bit of a rant there. Anyway, so that's 10 minutes of me. So let's get your people's opinions, not my bullshit crap. It's about you guys. So I'm going to go to X, and I'll just quickly open it up. Sorry, I should have had this. Open. All right. So let's start with Maxed ORS Noob. Biggest worry, can't defend any part of the ground. Probably true. Rousseauit at Rousseauit118. Efficiency, thumbs down. And inability to change within quarters was disappointing. Since we were able to do it last week, players just not switched on. Thank you, Rousseauit. Us Skeptikos. The club is full of people happy to just be in a job and part of the AFL circus. It's a ruthless performance business. Sonia Hood and boards to start. Best days past Clarko. Every play over 25. They're comfortable losing and participating is enough. The club is a disgrace. Harsh words there, Skeptikos. But a few people did agree with you there. So, look, I'm not going to blame Sonia Hood and the board. I wouldn't sack Clarko just yet anyway. Maybe the game has gone past him. I don't know. We can only go based on evidence, but yeah, we all wanted Clarkson 4 years ago. We wanted him to turn the club around, so we got him in. The AFLW has been quite successful. I think financially we're doing it pretty well off the ground, as far as I know. I mean, the biggest criticism comes at selling 2 games in Perth for 3 years, as far as financial gain. That's about it, and not building a supporter base in country Victoria. Like, we're not looking at any areas here, like whether it's Albury or Wodonga, where we tried a number of years ago. It's probably 20 odd years ago, in the Murray and Ovens region. Bendigo, I'm not too sure, but that's something we've got to consider as well. So but look, you're entitled to your opinion, Skepticos. Jacinta, my good mate Jacinta, for the AFLW season. Our forward line is shambolic. No identical leading patterns and no crumbs for the ground ball. Some problems can be solved at the selection table, but Clarko seems to be like creating his own headaches. Very good points there. Jacinta, you got 4 tall forwards, and they all get in each other's way pretty much, so it makes it too hard. Just on Matt Whitlock, he's learning the game, and it's funny. His form in the VFL wasn't exactly outstanding. And I'll go to that, but I'll go to it wasn't outstanding. David King comes out on Tuesday and mentions Matt Whitlock. The club gave up a lot to get him, and where's he at right now? That Thursday, all of a sudden he gets a game, and based on team balance, he shouldn't be playing. You're not going to drop Nick Larkey. We'll talk about him soon, I'm sure. Jack Darling has been probably our best forward, most consistent forward this year. And Cooper Trembath, that's your 3 talls. And we've gone with 4, which makes no sense whatsoever. So, I don't know. Very good points there, Jacinta. Shimmelboner, we just lack that X-factor Wardlaw in and around the ball. I don't think Wardlaw's the problem. I thought the stoppage game was quite solid yesterday. I think the clearances were pretty much very similar. I think it was 34 to 36. But the thing is, it's more how each team got the clearance. Whoever got the clearance, they seem to have a lot more space. They didn't defend the clearance too well. So, it was an important part of the game, but it wasn't the be-all and end-all. So, which seems to be the way for us. Like, if Melbourne lost the clearance, they still had the ability to transition the ball from defensive 50, especially if we didn't take any marks there, which we didn't too often yesterday. Anyways, JR, Kevin Seville really struggling in defensive transition, stopping the opposition and bringing it out of defence. Often the best result was just to hope it would go out of bounds. Missed opportunities in front of goal. Tall forwards aren't taking marks. Small forwards aren't crumbing. Well, we don't play any small forwards. The way they deliver it leaves a lot to be desired too. A lot of the time it was kicking long to Jack Darling. Like, I don't know how many times we kicked to Jack Darling. 3, 4 on 1, put it on top of his head. Oh, well, hopefully he can take a contested mark. He's 34 years old. Use your brains a little bit. Lower your eyes, but we don't want to do it. So, it's not just... And picking 4 tall forwards, what do you expect? Like, it's just stupid. They don't know. Each other's patterns, systems, but it's just hit and hope football. Fimmer at Paul Fimano. Some senior players making the same stupid mistakes. Every time Stephen gets the ball, the opposition lick their lips. I didn't actually think Dylan Stevens played too bad yesterday. He just gets by each week. I'm just going to look at his game yesterday. I'm just going to go to the stats. I actually can't even see him at the moment. Maybe my eyes are going, but where the hell is he? Josh Simpkin? No. I thought he was okay yesterday, but I can't even find his stats right now. I seem to find every other player. Oh, Dylan Stevens. Here we go. Gee, sorry about that, listeners. 18 possessions, 351 metres gained, 32 pressure acts. So not too bad. He wasn't too bad. But thanks for coming into the chat anyway. Fimmer. Trent Turner. Can we move past Bull, Elmax, Scott, Core, Simpkin, all players that are too comfy and don't know how to win? Also, Caleb and Cooper can't defend and don't take the ground. Get Colby back there and give him the footy at all costs. I don't like giving the footy at all costs to Colby McKercher. The frustrating part about him as well, when he does get in the back half, he always runs to his right side, and he always seems to get it to the right side. And he's got no right foot. He seems to run, and teams defend his left side, so they know he's not going to cut back inside. So he just runs to the boundary line to the right side, and then he forces himself into a trap and tries to go backwards. Retreat, handball, puts players under pressure. Get him behind the ball where he's got the whole field in front of him. Stupidity. Anyways, I'm a bit frustrated tonight. Roger Smith at Red Weeks. Pathetic after quarter time. It was pretty well 2 goals after quarter time. Melbourne didn't care when Kangas kicked their last 3. Another 5 more minutes they might have cared. Who knows? Yeah, I think Nick came into the chat on Instagram, and he'll give you a score update from second quarter to pretty much the last 5 minutes of the game. Cold shot. Too much park football, overuse of handballing, poor decision making, unskilled, and the cherry on top is the diabolical inside 50 garbage. Other than that, I'm really enjoying the footy. Look, I'm glad you're really enjoying the footy too, Cold Chat. I'm sensing a bit of sarcasm there, so thanks for coming into the chat. But yes, that inside 50 plus having an imbalanced forward 50 line, yeah, it's not going to be a recipe for success. Paul George, so PG 18, he's got number 18. Never going to beat good sides with Almac, Spargo, and unfortunately, Nick needs to stand down as skipper. He's just not a captain. Give it to Harry and move on. Look, maybe we just keep him skipper, because every player that seems to be captain seems to struggle, and they feel the weight of the world on their shoulders. I felt like that was with Joey Simpkin as well last year or last couple of years. But at the end of the day, they let the players choose the captain, don't they? So I'm not sure what they'll do next year with that, but. The thing with Nick Larkey that's frustrating me at the moment, it's not that he's missing goals. He's kicked another 2 behinds yesterday. It's more, if he doesn't take the mark and he's in a contest, he goes straight to ground. I don't know how many times he's done it over the last few weeks. He seems to be feigning for free kicks as well a little bit. It's a sign of a player that's really low on confidence right now. His confidence looks shot. Even when he pushes up the ground, he's not going to hurt you. Like, you almost want him to get the ball on the wing, because you're guaranteed he's not going to damage you or do anything with the football as soon as he gets it. He's not going to cut the ball back 45 degrees and find space for in the middle of the ground for a player to run onto or anything like that. So, yes, that's the frustrating part right now, is just the amount of times he's going to ground. The simple thing about football, if you fall to ground, you're out of the contest. You're gone. You've got to keep your feet. It's the number one rule. He'll know that. So he just keeps falling down far too easily. So that's a frustrating part. Xavier Liar, we're a shit show, not our day. When is it our day? Mate, I want to play the 4 teams below us. It's our day, Xavier. That's what the signs are showing it. But thanks for coming in, mate. LRH, poor skills under pressure, needs a bull in the centre. Well, we get George Wardlaw soon, but I'm not too worried about this. Going against Max Gawn, I thought we did okay in the midfield yesterday. Now, I'm going to say it again, James Duke, the Dukester, too tall in capital letters. He's not happy. Demons had no pressure coming out of defensive 50 whatsoever, and like I said, rebounded even quicker than the Pies. Turnovers and missed opportunities killed us, missed simple kicks, handballs and marks. Season over, play the kids. Yeah, I don't even understand this obsession with trying to finish 10th. Trying to get 10th position, really. At the moment, we're equal with 10th position, St Kilda. So it's a big game next week. Do I really care about finishing 10th? Does anybody really care about finishing 10th? I'm more worried about next year. It seems like the coach, if he can get 10th spot, he's going to get a 5-year contract extension. So he seems to care, but I don't know. I don't know that for a fact, but yeah, look, that's how it feels like he's almost coaching at the moment. Lois at Lois Ante can't defend transition, and when we transition, we can't enter the 50 with any sort of threat. Yeah, exactly. You pretty much summed it up pretty well. I could stop the podcast right now, Lars, with that smart comment. See, I'm telling you, these North Melbourne supporters are very smart people. Flag North. Flag North 2020s. Easy fix. Put Clarko, Viney, Roiling, Sonia in the bin. Bring in Simo or Horse and some fresh talent to support our young stars. Big jump possible next season. Look, I think with natural progression from the young guys, we should jump up next season. But I don't want to just rely, we're going to win 12 games next year because of our talent. We want a system that looks like it's going to, get us to, a premiership or close to a premiership, top 4 finish. I just don't know if we've got that at the moment. It don't look like it. Shane Jolly, the Jolster. Nick Lucky is so low on confidence. He's at a point of being a liability. McDonald is done. Clarko, Jury is out. Our forward delivery is deplorable. Pickett running rings, run rings around us. Yeah, look, Pickett, was able to do whatever he wanted to yesterday. He had 20-odd touches. Cozzy Pickett, what do you have? 29 touches. Didn't put too much time into him. 723 metres gained. That's far too much. I thought actually Bailey Scott might have been given a job on him yesterday, but he was playing wing, half forward, like he's done over the course of his career. It's a bit strange with Bailey Scott. He'd been playing midfield and been doing pretty well in the VFL, but as soon as he comes into the AFL, he goes back to the wing and plays half forward role. It was okay yesterday. Look, the good thing about getting a player into the team that's played over 100 games of AFL football, they understand the role and the system of AFL football, whereas as opposed to getting a young kid in, they're still learning the game like a Matt Whitlock, and it takes a long time for them to find their feet and learn the game, and it sometimes takes 50 to 100 games for those types of players. So, with Bailey Scott, you know what you're getting, so he's a safe bet. Jimbo at Vas fucking. Yeah, thank you. We ain't going nowhere till the losers that Simpkin, McDonald are gone. I actually thought Simpkin was okay yesterday. Playing on the wing, he certainly had his good moments. 25 touches, 525 metres gained. Disposal efficiency was a bit down, 56%. And kicked a couple behinds, but he had 5 scoring involvements as well. Herky, 4 tall forwards, and he threw up. Harvey deserves a contract, being good in defence, and think went high half forward in the last one was very good. He went there a second half. Colby went back and actually got plenty of the ball. Just play him there. Yeah, look, I couldn't agree with you more there. Herky. Chips, dog shit again. He's not happy, Chipsy. Thanks for coming in. Hugh Jas, pathetic shit heap of a club. That's a bit of a strong statement. No, we're a good club. You stick with us, Hugh Jas. At Chaswood 5, so thank you. M. Neil, we can't defend turnover, and gosh, we give them strength. We'll give them enough. How many of our balls get smothered? What is that? Zerha must have had 5. Curtis and Sheasel, good. We're probably a bit tall up forward. Yeah, I think so. I liked a couple of things from Whitlock, but some others were very ordinary. Yeah, he's got a bit of class, Whitlock. Well, if you want to play him this week, I wouldn't be against it if you're going to rest Jack Darling. It looks like he's got good skills, good set of hands. His shot was quite good, just hit the post. I think that was the third quarter. Yeah, he was a bit stiff, but he's got a good routine. But if they want to do that and play him and rest Darling, but if they don't rest Darling and play Larky, Trembath, then he has to go out of the team. And Ash at Howie _22, we haven't improved. We have beaten shit teams. That's it. I don't know about that. But look, just a couple of shout-outs to a couple of really good performers. Harry Sheasel, geez, that kid. We're building a club around him. We have to. Like there's no doubt about we kind of have to do that. So, look, 33 touches, 438 metres gained, 48 pressure points. So he's the most out of on the team, 8 scoring involvements, 2 with goal assists, a goal himself. But probably only player that got a ground ball getting inside our 450 and he kicked a nice goal. So we'd love to have about 6 of him. Unfortunately, we don't. So, but that's it for I'll just see if anyone's come into the live chat. No, we're still. Unfortunately, last week, I think I missed the last 5-10 minutes of the show. It cut out. I didn't realise the internet cut out. So it seems to be happening a fair bit on my end. So I do apologise for that. But Harry Sheasel, yeah, I'll just go through that. I thought Cooper Harvey was outstanding first half. Colin McKercher needs to play in the back line. I mentioned that. Other than that, we didn't. Cooper Trembar seemed to be hobbling a little bit. I like Riley Hardiman in the team. I like Josh Goder in the team. It'd be nice if they could get a good, consistent role in the back half. But, yeah, we're very lucky to have Harry Sheasel, just on that note. So, to be honest with you, he's an outstanding young talent. I'll go to Instagram now. So, I'll go to Anthony H. Well, let's start with Anthony. So I put the question out, and he goes, when, question mark, you can't get 6 in the first and 5 for the rest of the game and think we're going to win. Well, we kicked 3 in the last 5 minutes, so we had 2 goals for about 2.5 quarters yesterday. But, yeah, you're not going to give yourself much of a chance, are you? Kate's postcards. She came in on Thursday a little bit late when I did the team selection, and just mentioned Bailey Scott. No idea what happened to Scott over the last 2+ years, but have noticed in the last month he seems to be enjoying himself out on the field. Didn't think we'd ever put him back in the ones, but we'll see how it goes. Hope he enjoys himself out there and has a good game. And replied to my story yesterday, been a while since we announced a rival with another non-name opposition forward. I started to believe we'd lost the knack. So obviously talking about the Sam Kerridge award there. Yeah, where Jefferson kicked 4 yesterday. I actually don't mind him as a player. He's been in their system for quite a few years, and he's not a bad second or third tall forward. He seems to complement Van Rooyen. He understands the system. So, yeah, look, he's not a bad player. I'm not going to discredit someone like that. And, yeah, he took a couple of really nice marks, and he's a good set shot for goal. Nicholas Zazic. Now, I've caught up with him a few times. I do a fantasy keeper league with him and a number of others. I've done that this year. We're struggling. We're near the bottom. Yeah, we're rebuilding. So he came in 9 goals to 1 from 1 minute 42 second quarter to 24 minutes 16 fourth quarter. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's where the game's at, isn't it, Nicholas? And improve your trade offers in the keeper league for next year. So that's pretty much it for me. I don't think anyone else has come in with that. Has anyone come in late with anything on a chat in a live feed? No, nothing at the moment. So that's it, and I'm glad you all jumped in. I'll just finish off with the reserves. Now, they had a loss today at Arden Street, going down by 31 points to the Demons. 4 goals to Lockie Doveston and 3 to Costanzi. That's handy that a couple of small found form in the twos. One of them will come back in this week. You'd have to think Costanti back after being managed for a week. Didn't understand that. Griffin started off the first quarter pretty well. I know there's a lot of talk about him and maybe him getting a game, and really like his work ethic, but finished with a goal after a promising start. I think he may debut this week because there'll be deflection for the pressure Clarko is feeling for probably supporters. Yeah, they tend to do that. So it wouldn't surprise me. Maybe anyways. Dersma, Jesus, 3 possessions. Barely sided. I didn't even know he was playing. I didn't watch the whole game. I missed a little bit here and there, but I did see a little bit. But Christ, 3 possessions. I hope he got an injury. No, I don't want to wish an injury on anyone, but I hope something happened. CCJ, 4 possessions. They may pick him. Who knows? Rivers Stevens didn't hit the scoreboard, but happy for him to have another year in the system. That's about it, really. Not much else from anyone else. Miller Bergman in his revenge game, 25 possessions for the D's as well. Luke Urquhart, 20 touches, 5 tackles. Not too bad. So that's pretty much it. So a frustrating loss. There were some positives. I felt like it's just been negative, this podcast, but I haven't been too negative at individual players, to be honest with you. Yeah, I know I'm having a go at Zerha for playing the back half, but that's the club's fault. They just keep persisting with him here. And the thing with Cam Zerha is it's basically having Griffin Logue in your team, as it because when the ball goes in the air long in the air, he'll leave his player and he'll be a good third man up. He'll kill a contest. He'll take an intercept mark. But as far as playing on anyone, yesterday, I think it was supposed to be on Jefferson on occasions, but you can't, you can't, you can't do it. And he did a kick out, straight turnover. He had about 3 balls smothered because it took him half an hour to get his foot on the ball. So get him out of there. McKercher, get him back to half-back flank, given where he's got the whole field to work with, not running from forward to behind, running on his right side, where that's not his strength. So, and look, play Gower and Hardman for the rest of the year. If you need to drop McDonald, just drop him. I mean, he didn't give you much yesterday. 7 possessions. He played on. I couldn't even tell you who he played on. He tries hard. He's the heart and soul of a club. He gives it everything he has, 100%. Goes out there and plays each game like it's his last. But eventually, you got to move past these players. I don't want to see I don't want to see Hardiman or go to drop this week or rested or whatever bullshit you want to come up with. You got Luke Parker in the backup. He can be the general. He can help you out. I thought Charlie Comben was pretty good. I think he's had a really good year, Charlie Comben. A lot of intercepts. Yeah, 5 intercept marks yesterday. Clearly the most. Second was Josh Goder had 3. Riley Hardman had 2. They had intercepts for the game. So, yeah, Josh Goder had 2. Cameron Zerha had 2. And Tristan Sherry had a couple as well. So, yeah, give some of the young kids a go. And yeah, well, if we have to drop Whitlock back to the 2s, don't be afraid to do it, and we'll go from there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So nothing else has come in late. So yeah, that'll do us for another episode of the Hashtag Kangaroos podcast. As always, thanks so much to everyone who tuned in and to everyone who sent through their thoughts after the game. Whether you agreed with my take or had a different perspective, I really appreciate the discussion. That's what makes this podcast so enjoyable each and every week. Yesterday's loss was a frustrating one because it felt like there was an opportunity for North Melbourne to take another step forward. There are still plenty of positives to build on, but there are also some important lessons around team balance system and making the most of our opportunities. It comes down to the coaches in that one. The season is a marathon, not a sprint. We're towards the end of the season. This young group continues to learn. Hopefully they can take those lessons into next week's game and respond the right way. We go into St Kilda next Sunday, I believe it is. So that's going to be an important game. Both teams, they've got a wild card spot up for grabs with that one. So we'll see. But before I go, don't forget, tune in tomorrow afternoon at around 4:30 p.m. when I'll be joined by 2 North Melbourne AFLW players at this stage. Last Tuesday, I caught up with Tess Craven to chat about how the girls' pre-season was progressing. And tomorrow it'll be great to hear from a couple more players and get their thoughts on how the squad is shaping up as the AFL season draws closer. Make sure you join us live for that one. Send through your questions and be part of the conversation. But until next time, it'll probably after tomorrow, it'll probably be later in the week, I'll preview the North Melbourne versus St Kilda game coming up on Sunday. Thank you for listening